Hi, welcome to Awake TV. So today Sue and I are going to talk about how the guides communicate you when you are not hearing them. So, no matter how much spiritual awakening we have and how much skills we have, like a clairvoyant or clairaudient or whatever, right? When we are so focused on things, or sometimes we're so deep into the emotions in our own problem, we can hear our client stuff because it's not our issues, but we suddenly cannot hear like communication from our guide and what we're going to do about it. And we thought this is going to be really helpful for you guys, so we want to talk about this today. So what is your point of view about this, Sue, or your experience?
Can I start with, oh my God, the energies lately have been, whew, a lot. There's a lot of light coming in. There's a lot. For me personally, that I've been releasing and letting go of. And, it's kind of a common thing. We talk about this, how things pop up that are still in our energy fields that we think we don't even remember because it's been so long ago, but it's still there cooking around. And then all of a sudden, now it's time to let it go. And so we're like, okay, I'm going to cry about that now, or I'm going to say, I forgive myself or that person or both. And so we do the work, we do the energetic work that we need to do to release those things. And it's been an intense time for me personally, and I've heard it from you, I've heard it from my other friends in the spiritual community, and I've heard it from people that don't consider themselves spiritual at all. They're like, what is going on? So I think we're having just this humanity collective, what the heck? And yeah, and it's growth. I mean, so that's good news. And so why don't I hear like I was just telling Erica, I didn't hear my dad the other day. So my girlfriend calls, or she texts me, and she sent me the song lyrics to one of my favorite songs. And as we got talking, I recognized that my dad was actually the one sending me that song because he knows I love it. And he knows that it was exactly what I needed to hear, those lyrics. Here Comes the Sun, the Beatles song. Um, I, I hear her say, it's all right. Everything's all right. And I'm at the heels of a very, very big situation in my life that's coming to a resolution. And it's caused a tremendous amount of upheaval in my home, in my life, with my family and my life. And I know in my heart and in my soul and in my mind and in my etheric body that it is coming to its conclusion, and it's going to be beneficial for all. I know this. However, there's so much residual. I've just been through a year and a half worth of the most intense shit I've ever experienced in my life. Okay. So there's all that energy that's there in my body and all my fields, as well as the knowing that it's almost over. It's coming to its natural conclusion. And so, um, my mind and is still, I can get into this tunnel vision of thinking um, about details, about how this is going to work out. What am I going to do when that happens? Like what's next? I'm in my mind, and I'm very tunnel visioned about certain things. Okay, I have to work today, and then after work, I have to go to the baseball game for my other, and then I have to do this and I have to do that. So even just everyday stuff that we're always doing and planning, we can become super tunnel vision, and we're not hearing them because the focus is not open, it's closed. So this is how I see it. And um it's like tuning into the wrong radio frequency.
Oh
You're
yeah.
so tuned in to this other frequency that you're not available for these ones because we're not being flexible with our energy. Our focus is too intense on something that's of the earth, that's in our
Yeah.
life right now. And so we all have that, right?
Mhm.
But once my friend sent me that song lyric, and then as we started talking, I recognized right away that my dad is the one who sent that to me. And it's kind of like just those old warm fuzzy feelings of when he used to just like, come on honey, it's all right, it's all right, it's good, we're okay. And even when I was a little girl, and just his energy of, come on, you got this, and I just felt so warm and calm, and I smiled, and I started feeling really joyful. Even though all that other energy was still in my field, I could stop focusing on that and bring it to, see, it's all working out for the best, it's all working for all. And
Mhm.
even though I'm not quite there yet, so these messages, we're getting, I think they're trying to communicate with us all the time. Would you agree?
Yeah. In my case, yeah, like you, I went through probably most painful experience like last year. I mean, I think the most painful, come to think about it. I mean, because of you, I don't kill myself. Thank you too.
Well, you too.
But like, when we are going through that kind of tough time, you know, it's very difficult to hear our guide. And then especially when we are going through challenges, I know they're watching me, but you don't hear them, you know. And
Yeah.
then what I experienced was I was watching a lot of tarot card reading last year, and then they send you the next step or whatever you need to be doing with repeated message from. Oh, I don't watch every single tarot card reader. I'm very picky, but let's say if I watch something not related to my challenge, I just watch like, okay, let's watch tarot card reading for Leo, and then they start talking about my issue,
Oh,
you
isn't
know.
that great? Isn't that great?
And then like they start talking about my solution too. And then after you hear 5 times, it's the sign, it's no
Yeah,
coincidence from all other tarot card reader, like read for Leo in every month. And then you're like, okay, that this must be sign because they're repeating so many times. I hear it, I hear it, I hear it. So, you can make a decision instead of them telling you, means your guide. Sometimes when you hear from other people who doesn't know your problem, and then you feel like, okay, that's not what I made it up in my head, you know?
exactly. It's confirmation. And, we're just not taught to trust that, as
Mhm.
most people aren't. If you're lucky enough to have grown up in a spiritually oriented family rather than religious or um, uh, agnostics and that, um, you're really not taught to pay attention to the things that we can't physically see, that isn't written down on paper, isn't somebody standing there going, yes, I just said that to you. Like we just want this empirical evidence. We're like scientists, show me the proof, show me the proof. Well, in fact, um, we are being shown the proof all the time, but are we trusting it?
Yeah.
And so, like, I love what Lee Carroll says. He's the voice of Cryon, he's the soul that Cryon speaks through. And if I had to venture a guess, I'd even say Cryon is a conglomeration of his higher selves. That's just my opinion, but like his evolved, more higher density and dimensional selves. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Cryon always says, and we know who you are. Yes, you, we know that you needed to hear this today, because guess what? We know who's showing up to this. And it always strikes me right in the heart center every time I hear him say that. Do you know what that means? It means he knows, or they know, who's going to be listening. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter if they're listening right then,
Or later.
or later.
Mhm.
They will put information in through the the vessel. Like I consider myself a vessel when I channel. I consider myself a vessel when I'm being empathic or when I'm giving somebody a session. I'm the vessel.
Mhm.
They will put information through the vessel that that person needs to hear at just the right time. And
Yeah.
so for some people, they're listening to that message as it's being said. So, and they're at a live version of it. But what about the people that hear it 10 years later?
Mhm.
M- That's the perfect right divine timing for them to hear that message. In other words, you know, when it was first given 10 years earlier, maybe they weren't ready for it.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's a coincidence that they happen upon it while they're in YouTube or TikTok or whatever you're listening to. All of, you know, you become connected to it when you're ready for it. And this
Yeah.
is why I think we need to trust
Mhm.
that if you're hearing this message and it's resonating, like with what you said, you keep hearing the same message from different
Yeah.
readers, that message is definitely for you.
Mhm.
And yes, it's going to relate to other people too, because I mean, even though we have different issues in our lives, a lot of us are going through the same thing. I mean, support groups are effective for a reason, you know,
Mhm.
because we come together because we share common challenges, and it's helpful to talk to other people about this. Um, but, you know, they find a way to talk to us, whether
Mhm.
we're listening or not. And
Yeah.
I'm very comforted by that.
Mhm.
Because as you said, we're never alone, right?
Yeah, we're never alone. And then it's important to trust whatever we are thinking, they can hear us.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
100%.
I think a lot of times they come to us in dreams. So you know, there's that thing to mention. We want to just kind of hit that topic. If you're having a dream and there's someone in your dream, especially somebody that you know,
Mhm.
and it feels real, guess what?
They came to you.
You met up with each other, right?
Oh, right, right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you met up with each other on some plane in some dimension, probably the astral. I honestly am not an expert on what astral is, but I do understand dimensions. And I know that whatever place
Mhm.
that you know, like if two souls truly want to connect, they will find a way.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So
So, you know,
what's
go
the
ahead.
tips for listeners when, audience, um, when they are having like frustrations, like, oh, I'm having problem now and I can't hear anything, communicate, and really stressed out about it. What's your tip?
Well, what I do is when I get like that, because I know better, I know that that's not true. So I breathe, I connect to my breath, and what that does is it stops your brain immediately. It gets you connected to your body. So I take the in breath in my nose and I blow it out through my mouth, and I go as deep into I bring it in as deep into my diaphragm as I can. So
Mhm.
I start really paying attention to my breath. And then once I've done that, and I feel the calm, it comes over quite quickly. It's for
Mhm.
me better than an anti-anxiety pill. Then I remind myself that I am an aspect of source and that all things are possible and that I'm creating every moment of every day. All is well. So it's a little meditation, but just reminding myself that I am God's source energy. And so are you, and so is everybody else. And so are the people that appear to have hurt me or caused some issue in my life. We're all parts of God's source energy. And so when I think in those terms, I remind myself of that, then the calm just comes over and I can be in the moment. And see, if I'm in the moment, then I'm not feeling so hectic. And now I'm open to the messages, right? If we're in the past or we're in the future in our minds, we're not staying present. It's hard, it's way harder. It's a lower vibrational energy and it's much harder to hear the messages. But if I can get myself into this moment right now where everything is really okay, then my energy goes up
Mhm.
in vibration, and now I'm open again and I can hear what they're saying to me. I get it. I feel them, I hear them, I get the knowing, and I'm back on track. How
That's
about you?
good. Well, I stopped thinking about it, and then I just go on like my day without thinking about it. And then often I start hearing them when I'm taking a shower or doing like something like, yeah, a lot of times taking a shower.
Me too, because they know we're just enjoying that water. We're not thinking.
Yeah, or taking the hot bath with a bath bomb, or like,
For me, doing the dishes.
mhm.
It's just menial thing, just routine things where our brain isn't going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah. So my tip is try to do something um you can relax. I like taking shower because it relaxes me. And when you're doing something, then your mind kind of shut down, and then you can stop thinking about it, and then you can hear them, right? And then your stress level is down, and then you can go back to your 0 point, your normal state.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then if you really, really have a hard time stop thinking, um, try and do some light meditation, like focus on an object that you really like. Close your eyes, try to see if you can see colors and that sort of thing. Or last ditch thing, if you're really, really at your wits' end, go to sleep.
Oh,
Take a nap.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Take a nap, go to sleep. You'll feel better when you wake up the next day. And you had mentioned earlier, I know we're making this a short one, but I just want to quick add this. You had mentioned earlier about kind of getting to the point where you wanted to end your life, and I've been there. Because sometimes the poop hits the fan so hard, you can't see any way through it. So what works for me is I go to sleep.
Mm.
I tell myself I'm going to sleep on this because we heal when we're sleeping.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Because
I
they know we're not thinking when we're sleeping. Our brains are asleep. So that's when they can come in and do the most good for us. They can have a conversation with us and be like, and energize us too, clear our energy fields.
Mhm. And definitely, I mean, when I think about stuff like that, which I rarely do, and then if I do, I think about, do I want to repeat this? No.
Ah,
And then I say, okay, I'm not going to do that. And then I talk to someone I can trust, like, I talk to Sue, stuff like that. And then you start doing something nice to yourself. Then you kind of like, you don't forget about it, but you get out of this state of, okay, whatever, right? Like, I
yeah.
want to die, that kind of thing. But like, in general, when you cannot hear your guide, it's just my case, but do any like sports activity. I'm not sporty person, but I love horses. So once I ride on the horse, I can forget about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really big. Get into what you love because our heart center is so connected to everything. Source, God, whatever you choose to call that, and all of our guides, the angels, all the higher level beings higher energetic beings. I want to say that they're correcting me. They're saying don't say level. That makes it sound like there's a hierarchy. Okay, higher energy frequency beings. They're all just right there in our heart center.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as you said, when you do something athletic, energetic, as long as you're enjoying it and you really love doing it, then that's a sure way to get connected to and being able to hear more of the what they're trying to say.
Yeah, after you finish that, because there's no way I hear my higher self or angels while I'm writing or I'm doing pole dancing class. I'm just
Yeah,
enjoying the moment, right? But
yeah,
later
you're getting
on,
into it.
yeah, later on you feel so good and you're so relaxed. similar to, after you take a bath, like you're so relaxed. So you're no longer like tense. You're not no longer like tunnel vision. You're no longer like this and that.
Oh, they want me to tell you, or to say, fear, if you're afraid of connecting with spirit, that's also going to block you a little bit. So being open to it is important.
Yeah. So if you guys still fear connecting the spirit, so make sure to call in Archangel Michael and have him next to you, so you don't call in something, sketchy.
Yep.
Yep.
None of those lower energy beings, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, if you're thinking along the line, I'm talking not necessarily to Erica because she already knows this, but if you are thinking in spiritual terms and you're thinking about connecting to your guides and the angelics and the fairies and all of that, your energy's high enough. You're not calling in those dark ones, okay? But like Erica said, if you feel better about it and it makes you feel comfortable, call in Archangel Michael, the great protector. Any of the angels will help you. So whoever you feel most connected to, call them in and ask for the protection because they're right there all the time.
Yep. So
Yep.
that's what we wanted to share today. Thank you so much. Please share, like, subscribe, and we see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.